Hi, welcome to Spiritual Rebirth Tarot. This is Madelyn. So good to have you here. I've taken a little break. Hopefully you guys saw some of my posts that I did over the course of the last couple of weeks. It's been an interesting journey, learning a lot about myself and my needs and desires and directions. And this month, up until the 21st, I'd like to focus on the grand conjunction and the coming together of Jupiter and Saturn on the 21st of December. They're coming together now, and they will be even the very strongest on that day, the closest within a degree of each other, and then they'll begin to move apart. And it's been since the days of Galileo that this has happened. So it's pretty exciting. So anyway, this reading is going to be for the air signs for the first week of December coming up. And I would like to ask, first of all, some questions about from the Ancestors and Angels deck, and ask some questions there about who will be your guide. So air signs, who will be your guide during that time. And then I'm going to do some tarot cards, asking about what you need to know about the the great conjunction that's happening. So as that's happening, what do you need to know? And we'll be asking that question of the tarot. So if this resonates with you, please subscribe to the channel. And if you're new, welcome. And if you're not new, please make sure you subscribed and hit the notification bell so you can get all the videos when they come out. And then I'll also be doing a live for the full moon and eclipse tomorrow on the 30th of November. So if you're watching this after that, feel free to go and take a look on my Facebook for the live there, and I may also get it onto YouTube. All right, so for the extended today, I'll take a look, kind of continue the story with a new oracle deck that I have called Lenormand Oracle decks, and it seems like it's from a foreign country. It has kind of a different way of looking at things. It has like a whole bunch of different languages in the book, and kind of has this interesting storytelling pattern to it. So in the extended, we'll be looking into kind of continuing this story. So let's start by asking for divine guidance and for protection around us today. Okay, so let's start with angels and ancestors. So my intention here is who will be guiding you this week, December, basically November 30th, this first week of December. Who will be guiding the air signs is my intention here. And we can place Reiki energy in the deck to help us find the card that we're looking for. Okay, so the Hunter. So I love the energy of the Hunter. It's also evident in the Shaman Oracle, the Hunter. Track down your fears and desires. So for this week, as you're beginning to prepare for the Grand Conjunction on the 21st of December, the Hunter will come and help you in tracking and finding the things that you're really looking for. So it might be on a physical 3D level that you'll be looking and trying to find and figure out where things are and which direction you need to go. And it could be on a 5D level where you are wanting to see in a spiritual level what your desires are and to understand your fears. So we really need to understand our fears and to understand where those fears are coming from in order to be able to release them and move on from those fears. And that has something that has really been quite evident to me lately is just the concept of fear. And in my life, I had a tarot reading done for myself recently. And the biggest thing was there was a big obstacle of fear that was kind of keeping me from moving forward in the direction of my dreams. And so finding that, and I found that fear had a lot to do with cognitive dissonance. And so, kind of believing one thing but acting in a different way. And so the more we become in line with our true self and with our higher self and our higher energies, we'll be able to let flow into our lives these beautiful properties and experiences and everything that we have, be able to let go of our fear of what others may be thinking of us and step into our truth and what has been given to us in our hearts. So let's take a look at the Hunter, the description in the book. Let's see if there's any more messages for us in there. Okay, track down all of your fearful thoughts and feelings. When you find them, you will find your desires too. Oh, that's cool. So that's kind of what I was talking about, is that the desires that, sometimes it's hard to know what we really desire in ourselves. But as we're able to let go of our fears, we're able to find those desires. The Hunter card is based on my favorite Celtic god, Cernunnos. He is the stag god of the wild and represents both the hunted and the hunter. Simultaneously, the hunter helps you connect with an energy that is both fearful and fearless. Your fears are the only things that are standing between you and what you desire at this time. So you have come face to face with them, as the hunter does with wild animals, and goes beyond them. And so the hunter has a sense of fearlessness about him, and yet he is wary and fearful of maybe the predators that are around him as well. It's interesting how he has the ram horns and the stag horns. And so it's kind of like he's a leader in more than one way. So the stag is kind of a gentle leader from behind, encouraging, supporting, creating a path for those around him. The ram is kind of like that, the Aries, the bold energy of leading forward and direct, up the mountain in kind of a precarious position, and then he looks down at you and goes, "Aren't you coming?" and the stag is kind of like more there on the journey with you. And so I think this kind of like illustrates that fearful and fearless, and how as we address our fears, you know, we might be afraid of walking into those deep dark woods. We might be afraid of climbing to the top, you know, having a fear of heights. So these things might be filling us, you know, with this sense of fear, but knowing that the hunter will come with his energy and help you to overcome those fears, track your desires and your needs. And the other thing the hunter really shows in the shaman deck is that he never takes more than he needs. He never follows someone else's path. He knows his own path and his own journey, and he doesn't ever take more than he needs or his tribe needs. And so the hunter is both frugal and generous at the same time, kind of like the right amount, very balanced. And he's very balanced in his fear, in a good sense, that he's not going to trust that everything is just perfectly safe for him. But he also is unafraid and bold when he needs to be in his journey. So let's move on to the messages for the air signs with the tarot. So what do the air signs need to know about the Great Conjunction? What do the air signs need to know about the Great Conjunction? Okay, so the first card that came out is the Death energy. And so that is the energy of the Scorpio, which we have just left in this time period. And he's walking forward in a lot of, having a lot of, I can't think of the word, he's very sure of himself, confidence. There's a lot of confidence as he's writing, and you know, with a lot of, he's well protected in his efforts, and he isn't really noticing those around him or what's going on around him. And so during this time, opening up to self-confidence, walking forward in your truth, and not really noticing those around him. You know, the plague around him that's maybe killing everyone and bringing death and destruction around him. And he's writing in this true sense of confidence in self. And I'm also being drawn to the flower. And the flower at the top really has that sense of beauty. And that even when things around us are not very pretty or unpleasant, we can be looking to that beautiful flower, the beautiful things in life that are drawing us. And so I feel that this card is saying to you, air signs, to walk in that self-confidence and to build self-confidence, You know, it's kind of interesting. I bought yellow flowers for this week because yellow helps us to build self-confidence. It's the solar plexus chakra. So if we spend time in meditation, and as we meditate meditate on the color yellow, and we think about the color yellow, and we ask, you know, how does the color yellow feel? And I know when I meditate on the color yellow, I feel like it has a sense of happiness and joy, but also the sun is so far away, and you know, so it kind of has this distance, and it's not as warm as red and orange. It has that more of a brightness about it. And so as we look at the color yellow in this card, you know, that he's running toward that confidence. So during this time, during this week, really bringing that self-confidence, and also the number is 13, which is dials down to 4, and 4 has to do with structure and stability, and you know, standing on your own 2 feet and really having that confidence to be moving forward. So what else does the air signs need to know about this time of this week, and getting ready for the grand conjunction? Okay, so the next card is the Tower. So far this is the second major arcana card. And in this card, I'm noticing that as the lightning strikes, there's a fire that started in the tower. And they're having to jump out of the tower to avoid the fire. And, you know, what we don't know is that, you know, there could be this nice, you know, soft landing. It could be something for them to land on that's very soft, maybe, or there could be water that they're close enough to that as they don't hit, you know, it might be more perilous than that. But whatever's happening, these people are having to run from the things that are going to harm them. And so during this time, there may be some things that you need to turn your back on, turn away from, and that are going to be knocked down and taken out of your life, and kind of building on that sense of confidence that in the end you have to make the decision. And I know that one of the hardest things with the 9/11 was people who had to decide whether they were going to stay in the tower, or because of the fires and the fear, to have to jump out of the tower. And neither scenario gave them, you know, a better result or a different result. But at the time, the choice was still being made. So it could be that right now, some of the choices that you're making are still going to lead to the same result. You know, you still are a starseed on your purpose and your journey through life. You still are a light worker, being a healer, teacher, and guide to your community. You still are, you know, the person who's cleaning up the messes. Whatever you do, and it might be that right now, even though you're looking at life and you're saying, man, this is really a huge choice I have to make. In the end, you know, making that choice and going with that confidence, it'll still lead you kind of to the same result in the end. And so let's see what else would is a message from the divine for you for this time period, air signs. So the 3 of Swords. And so this is going to be a real time of feeling this week, and a lot of emotional things going on for you. And you might be dealing with grief in different ways. You may have lost someone you love. You may have lost a job or an opportunity or the direction you think you should be going. You just feel lost in some ways. And so the Three of Swords is coming and saying to you, you know, even in this loss, you know, Spirit knows that you're here, and he knows the direction. So the three brings us to that beautiful number of, you know, the trilogy, the connection, you know, the three that, you know, brings together all of us. You know, it's like me, myself, and I. You know, that's sometimes what I think of. Or it could be, you know, me, you know, the collective, and the universe. You know, so what three things are going to be brought into your life that are going to help you deal with these griefs that you're having right now? And you know, for some of you, I really feel that you are dealing with the loss of a loved one right now, and it's such a burden and a hard thing. And I know that for myself, I lost my sister 26 years ago in 90. I think it was 92 or 93. I always forget dates, but a long time ago, and yet it seems like yesterday. And even when that person is there, comforting you and supporting you from the other side, you still are missing them and longing for them here on this side. And so some of the things that you can do, you know, tell stories. I know that for me, I've always just told stories of my childhood with my sister in them. And people will be like, oh, where's your sister now? And I'm like, oh, she's in heaven. But, you know, they always are a part of your memories in a very specific way. So for some of you, that's the message the Spirit is bringing to you. Others of you, there may be other kinds of losses at this time, bankruptcies, heartaches, losses in just a feeling of emptiness. And allow yourself to grieve, like the hunter energy that we were talking about at the beginning. You know, until you really face your fears, until you really face your grief, until you really face that sorrow and loss, you really can't move on to your desires in your life. So let's ask, you know, what other messages are there for you air signs for this week, preparing for the December 21st. The Ace of Swords. So this card's all about inspiration, opportunity, you know, cutting through the BS of life. And I'm being drawn to these 6 teardrops. And, you know, sometimes the things opportunities that we have kind of come from these sad things. I mean, so far the cards that we've had for this week are the Death, the Tower, and 3 of Swords. So certainly this week could appear to be one of those really bad weeks. A lot of pain, a lot of sadness, a lot of crying. But at the same time, there could be a real opportunity that's coming out of that and coming into your life. Well, that's what this card is saying, is that opportunity is coming even from those hard and difficult things. And the opportunity a lot of times is, you know, making a choice, that happiness is a choice, moving forward in happiness no matter our circumstances, being aligned with our higher self and walking into that truth. So I'd like to pull a couple of cards to explain maybe a little bit more about the Death and the Tower and in these energies. Okay, so the King of Pentacles, the Five of Wands, the Five of Pentacles, and the Two of Wands. And underneath is the King of Wands. So I think that this card about the confidence and stepping into your confidence kind of is being explained with this King of Pentacles. And I heard the other day, and I really liked it, the King of Pentacles isn't just about abundance, he is abundance. And so learning to have that confidence, that vision in that direction will lead you to be, to be the King of Pentacles and to be abundance, and not just, to think about it or hope for it or long for it. And in this Tower energy, for some of you, it will have to do with friends and family and relationships, and having struggles and difficulties in those relationships. And the Five points to, chaos and conflict, but it also points to a change in direction. So it could be, like I was saying, it could be that you're looking at it and you're like, I can't win for losing. It doesn't matter if I stay in the tower and burn, or I jump out of the tower and die. And so either way, I feel like I can't win for losing. And so it might be that somehow in your situations this week, in the way you're relating to others, you're going to have that same feeling that you just can't win for losing. And so I think that these energies will come forward to you. You will understand, and you will know that, you know what, I have to do this. I have to face my fears. I have to follow the hunter into my desires. Be myself. Be the ram. Follow the stag. Follow the lamb. And walk into my truth and what that is. And no matter what you do with the people around you, they're going to react the way they're going to react. You have to let them be who they are, and you have to be who you're going to be. And then as far as the Three of Hearts, for, Three of Swords, with the heart being broken. For some people, it will have to do with their health or with their money. And so some people will be losing their job. Some people watching this will have kind of a health issue come up. And some people will have this, this also has that feeling of loneliness and loss and being out in the cold. So remember that, in this church, there's this hope. There's this Uriel is coming, the Archangel Uriel comes to you and says, no matter what you're facing, no matter how out in the cold you are and how out in the cold you feel, know that I am here to support you and help you to choose happiness and choose a new direction and to pivot in that decision. And so in this this energy this week of opportunities coming even from the difficult situations in life, it's kind of like, take a look at the world. Don't just look at yourself, but look at the whole world in your hand, and know that both the world is being offered to you. The world is huge and abundant, and there is enough for everyone there. And also, to me, this as the two wands represent the energies of manifestation and intuition. So following your heart and manifesting into your life those things that are abundant. And so the overall energy of this week for you, air signs, really is this strong fire energy, walking into a new sense of creativity and really having that creativity in your life. For some reason, I'm being drawn to his seat, to his throne, and see the lion there. And so the lion is the Leo energy. So this week, when you're starting to feel down and you're feeling frustrated and not knowing which way to turn, you know, breathe in the Leo energy, the strength of the yellow flame and the yellow in your life, and Uriel with his yellow light, and that will help you on your journey. So I hope that this was a helpful message for you for this week. Air signs, it's so great to be back to my home. It's very nice, and I'm glad to have had the time to visit family, and it's also nice to be back, you know, as a empath and a introvert. It's nice to be by myself again. So please come on over to the extended. There's always really a great message there. We'll continue on with this story. If you have any specific questions about your own life, the towers and the changes that you will be facing in these energies, or anything to do with the zodiac signs that may have come up in your mind or in direction here, feel free to request a private reading. I love to do those and to help you in your spiritual journey with hope and healing in your life. And so the link for the extended is below, and come on over for that, and I will see you next week.